Hello, my name is Glenn Bator with Bator International. I wanted to give you a little walk around the shop today and show you what we've got going on. At Bator International, we have approximately 90 motorcycles available for sale on our website. That's www.batorinternational.com. We specialize in classic and antique motorcycles of all types. Going back, I think the earliest one we've ever sold is probably about in 1885, and we go as modern as the 1980s. Usually those are the race bikes. But today here we have at the shop a variety of different projects underway. We have a 1915 Indian 8-valve that we just got done selling to one of our clients, as well as a 1919 Reading Standard board track racer. Both of them beautiful bikes, both of them real, not reproduction. And so I'm going to show you those bikes here in just a quick second. We also have a variety of British bikes, actually. Between the British and the American bikes, they sort of come and they go. We just finished a restoration on a 1922 Harley-Davidson Model W Sport Twin. And sorry to say that took about 7 years for me to restore that bike, but restoring those bikes are virtually impossible to do. There's no reproduction items that are available for those, so if we can't find the parts, restore the parts, we have to make them. But that bike was flawless, and it went to one of my clients on the East Coast, and he was very happy to receive it after 7 years. I don't think he even remembered he owned the bike. So enjoy what I've got to show you, and again, just panning around the shop here just to give you an idea what we have going on here. Our website is www.batorinternational.com, and you can also call me at any time. My telephone number is 805-798-1802. That's my cell phone, or you can call the office at 805-646-9566. We have about 90 motorcycles available for sale on our website. We have a showroom here on site, a restoration shop on site, and so we're a one-stop shop. So hopefully you'll enjoy what you're going to take a look at here today. This is just a small snippet because realistically our shop is ever-changing. It's like a rotating museum. Because we have great bikes coming and going on a daily basis, and we've been doing this for well over 10 years. So take a look around, and I'll try to explain what we have for your viewing pleasure. Again, my name's Glenn Bator, and welcome to Bator International. This motorcycle in front of us is it's a very, very beautiful Triumph. It's called a Speed Twin. It's a I believe it's a 39, yes, 1939. It's a Model 5T. It's a 500cc vertical twin, nicely restored, but it's not a trailer queen. When I say trailer queen, it's not just restored to look at. This bike is a very good runner. We just sold this to one of our clients here locally, along with a couple others I'll be showing you here in a minute. We're just giving it a quick service before she heads out, so the gentleman will be able to go out and have some fun with it. These bikes are highly sought after because basically this engine design, this 500cc, the Speed Twin engine, was and still is the basic foundation for all of the Triumphs that preceded these models. Triumph's been producing bikes back to, don't quote me on this, but it's early teens, maybe even earlier, I think 1907. And they're still in business today, and they actually build a very, very nice running motorcycle. The next bike that we have on site here is a 1915. This is a Indian 8-valve board track racer. This is an authentic racer. This was owned by and restored by a gentleman by the name of Stephen Wright, and he did this restoration probably 30 years ago. This bike is still in excellent condition, and they're highly valued and highly sought after. Stephen is a well-known person in the classic motorcycle world, and this bike is highly coveted. you mentioned the Stephen Wright 8-valve, everybody knows what you're talking about. This motorcycle also just sold to a client here in Southern California. It has been on, well, what can I say, on the East Coast for the past 10 years. I bought this bike from Stephen and sold it to one of my clients there, and he recently wanted me to sell it, and it didn't take but a few days for me to find a new buyer for it. Panning to my left, this is a 1984. This is a Royale Rp 39. This is undergoing restoration. This is one of my classic race cars. It's a Formula Continental, and they run the Ford 2-liter 4-cylinder engines and a Hewlin Mark 9 transmission. We completely stripped this car down and powder coated the frame after doing some repairs. Full sheet metal pan and also the side walls. Repainted the fiberglass. Good friend of mine, Nick Morozinski from Killer Instincts out of Satakoy, California, does most of my painting, and he does a fabulous job. He did this paint job quite a few years back. The next car, this is a Argo. It is a JM14, approximately the same year, and this also runs the 2-liter Ford engine. These are great fun, and you can race these in a variety of different clubs. There's HSR West, SVRA, which is also owned by a very good friend of mine, Tony Perilla. And just go out and have a blast. These cars will probably do about 130 miles an hour, maybe a little better, depending on the track and depending on the gearing. This little motorcycle we've got tucked between the two, or between the racks, this is I think it's about a 1938 Husqvarna. And this is a little single cylinder. This motorcycle is actually all original condition, so it's a great survivor. This bike's for sale on our website, www.batorinternational.com, and she's waiting to find a new home. If I go to my left here, we just got these parts back from our plater. We polished up the cases and everything and chromed out a bunch of things, which some of you will say is taboo, but it's not your bike, so not my problem. This belongs to a good friend of mine, and he's building a little bobber. And this is a 500cc Triumph, so it's going to be a beautiful engine when it's done, but far from stock. As you can see here, anytime that we find any damage on the cases and so on, or anything in the bikes, we repair them. This is all heliarc welded, and we'll go ahead and grind that flat so it'll accept the bearing race again. So we do it right when we rebuild our items. The next motorcycle, this is approximately a 72 34. This is a Harley-Davidson XRTT road race chassis, and it has a XR 1000 engine that's been totally rebuilt by Branch, and it's a very, very fast motor. So we're going to build that up as a street road racer, and one of these days I'll find a very nice XR 750 factory race engine, and I'll stuff it in the bike and make it a very, very fun track bike. I could take this out on the track as well because it will perform fabulously. Plus, it has an electric start, so it makes it very user-friendly. And this beautiful bike. This is a 19, I believe it's a 51. This is a Vincent Rapide. Already sold, sorry people. I do have others though. And we're just freshening it up because, again, we're getting ready to deliver it. Also landed here in Southern California. All you people on the East Coast, eat your hearts out. Looking down on the ground, this is a set of Indian. These are big base, original paint gas tanks that we just picked up for a client of mine. And they're going to be shipped out here first of next week. Along with a variety of other projects that we have ongoing, this is a I think it's a 51 Vincent Gray Flash engine. It's a very rare engine. And we're freshening it up. We're doing a full restoration on the bike. Belongs to one of my clients out of Texas. And he's been very patient up to this point, but I want to get the bike done and ready for him. Looking over the shoulder of this very nice Trident is another Vincent. This bike is a Rapide, and it is what I'll call a rolling project bike. This bike also just sold, along with his stash of parts, and we all know how hard it is to come across Vincent parts, but it'll be fully restored. At least that's the plan from the new owner, but he was also contemplating leaving it in this condition, rebuild the engine, and run it as an original paint bike. To me, it's a little bit rough to do that. I think I would do a full-blown restoration. But this is a touring model. You can tell that by the fenders. They're the stamped steel and valanced fenders, more so than the what I'll call the now aluminum, but it was the original Burma Bright fenders made back in the year from Vincent. But it'll be a beautiful bike when it's done. It's an all numbers matching bike, and case halves match and everything. So it's a great bike. And so in a few years, I'm sure we'll see this up and running. This motorcycle, this is a I think it's a 76 Triumph Trident. This bike is for sale. And again, I'll have to pitch my website, batorinternational.com. It's reasonably priced, and interestingly enough, the gentleman that we have this bike on consignment with, he rode the bike here. He lives, I don't know how many hundreds of miles away, and he rode it here, and it made it without a hiccup. Of course, it was a little filthy, so now I get to detail it before we sell it to the next lucky owner. This is one of my riders. This is a Triumph Bonneville Modern. I just sold my Harley-Davidson. I had a FXE 1975 that was sort of a little bit customized, modernized I should say, but I just sold it. And I've been enjoying riding this Triumph. So we're also utilizing this engine in our new Trackmaster project. I'm involved with Trackmaster racing bikes as well. And we're using this mill for the next complete bike that Trackmaster is going to be producing in its entirety. This cool little bike, this is called a Neiman Werkstätter, and I'm probably pronouncing that incorrectly, but this is an all original paint motorcycle. And I just got this running the other day, as you can see by the puddle of oil sitting underneath it. But the gentleman that bought this bike didn't even want me to wipe it off. He says, I want it exactly how it sits. Just go ahead and get her running and let me know when it's ready. So this will be leaving us here shortly as well. As well as all of our grinders and sanders and parts washers and sandblasters, we have crank touring stands here, and we do a lot of work, but a lot of the machining on the small items we have done locally by a good friend of mine, Sid Russell. He's a retired machinist, and he does a really great job for me. He makes a lot of the hardware that we desperately need for our projects. And speaking of projects, I'll pan over here to the shelves that we keep very well stocked with all of our projects. You can see some of the parts for the race cars, some for the Vincents, and you can see transmissions down here. Those are the Hewlands. I'm rebuilding that. And these parts are actually for the Gray Flash. We have all the parts beautifully painted. And we don't overdo the paint on these bikes because you want to make sure that you see all the casting marks and everything on all these parts, because if you overdo them, people don't seem to appreciate it. So we do leave all of the castings, marks, and we don't over restore these. Don't want to grind off things that were originally there. So we got a little ways to go on this project, but it's coming along quite well. And I just finished the restoration. I have a 1988 Swift DB4 Formula Atlantic. That car is a real handful, and we just got done running it out at the California Speedway. and that car is just a blast. I'll show you a video on that at another time. This motorcycle is a 1919 Reading Standard, and it is absolutely gorgeous. I restored this bike about 10 years ago for a client on the East Coast, and along with the Indian 8-valve, he elected to go ahead and sell these recently. And these are going to the same lucky owner out here on the West. This motorcycle is absolutely gorgeous, flawless. It's been well taken care of for the last 10 years. And I would say this is probably one of the most favorite bikes I've ever restored. It just has a great look to it and just real sexy lines. The paint was done by Nick Mrazinski, again, out of Satakoy. My good friend Larry Ramos did the lettering. That's all paint on the gas tank, not a decal. And the engine, beautifully done, and it's ready to go, restored inside and out. It's got the exterior oil pump on the side of the gas tank. V-twin. These are 1,000 cc motors. All the early V-twins were 1,000 cc's, with an exception of a few that were actually 74s. But just an absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous motorcycle. And this bike actually is another original board track racer. I try not to handle any replicas whatsoever because I really don't like them. It sort of takes away the value and takes away the rarity from the original bikes. But again, when you have bikes that are so rare and people do replicate them, as long as you represent them as replicas, in my books, that's okay, but it's not the real McCoy. So I appreciate you spending a little time with me today. Again, our shop is ever changing because these bikes come in and out on a fairly regular basis. And if you enjoy this video, please check out some of our others. My good friend John Thau from John Thau Designs does our website, does all of our IT work, and John does an excellent job as well. So if you like our website, if you like what we do here, John also does a variety of other websites. So give John Thau, that's JTHOW.com, or actually it's john@jthau.com. Again, my name's Glenn Bator, Bator International. Please get a hold of me at 805-798-1802, or you can email me at Bator, BATORINTL @AOL.com. And check out our website because it has a lot to offer. As well as the bikes for sale, we have a great lineup of motorcycles on the museum page, and we have a little bit of information on our racing as well. And also, if you happen to have an event or a bike that you want to put on our virtual museum, please submit them, and we'll go ahead and put them up on the website. Thank you again. Glenn Bator signing off.